finally, I'm gonna look at the rookie sensations of Ateez who literally debuted just 5 months ago and find out what their fastest raps are for all of you. This is only going to be Ateez songs only though, so I'm not gonna count any like solo projects or pre-debut songs that Mingi or Hongjoong might have done previously. That's for their own episodes of 8 Fastest Raps whenever I may compile those videos and actually put them out. But by the way, just need to say, I know I'm probably pronouncing Hongjoong extremely wrong, so please bear with me because I'm horrible at pronouncing Korean words in general, as most of you know. As of now, they've only released 2 mini albums as Ateez, so don't expect the fastest raps in the world from them at this point because they're still rookies and they don't have many songs. But I wanted to get a jump start on Mingi's and Hongjoong's raps since they're already so impressive and haven't even tapped into their full potential, at least in my opinion. So let me quickly explain how this works for those of you who are new to my series. I listened to all of Ateez's raps that I could find, and looking at those songs I found what I thought were the fastest sounding parts by ear. Then I took 8 seconds of those parts to be consistent with every other rapper I've looked at so far and counted the total amount of syllables in that span of time, and then finally I divided that total by 8 to find the average syllable per second count. And that's how I determined the quickest of Ateez's raps. As always, every rapper I've ever done this on will be listed at the end of the video so you can see how Mingi and Hongjoong do stack up against everyone else in terms of speed. But let's get into this finally and get started with our first song of number 8, and it is Hongjoong's verse in Pirate King. Starting off with one of their debut tracks, at about 1 minute and 20 seconds into the song, Hongjoong hits 48 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of simply 6 syllables per second. And something you're going to hear me talk about a few times in this, and I'm going to specifically point it out now, is the way that Hongjoong can rap. It just shows how good he is, because speed isn't everything. This video is about speed, and my entire series is about speed because I really like fast flows, but something you can hear with Hongjoong in this is like, he can do lots of different voices in his raps, and specifically in this one, he has a really light tone to his voice, and he can really mix it up. It's something I love about his rapping, which I haven't really said much because I think I've only made like 2 videos specifically on Ateez in my reactions. But yeah, let's move on to number 7, where I'm gonna get to talk about my personal favorite Ateez song, which is the song Twilight, and we're gonna talk about Mingi's verse at 3:06. As I mentioned before, at the end of the song, like 3 minutes and 6 seconds into it, Mingi hits 52 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 6.5 syllables per second. It's really the only big jump in syllables we're going to have on this list. Everything else is just consistently going up after here, which I will talk about later towards the end of the video. But right now I get to talk about Twilight, and I'm so happy because, well, 1, it's my favorite song from Ateez, but 2, this isn't the only time I get a fanboy about it, so I'll get more in detail next time I get to talk about another Mingi verse in the exact same song. But yeah, I'm sure you guys can figure out which one it is by then. But let's move on to number 6, where I get to talk about the other debut track that they came out with. Yeah, they're both on this list, and this time we got Treasure and Mingi's verse at 34 seconds. Honestly, this verse is the reason Mingi's my bias, or who I think is my bias. I mean, there's still all the vocalists too. I don't know 100% who my bias is yet, okay? It's only been 5 months, but I think Mingi's my bias, and it all started with this verse. When I heard it for the first time, I was like, oh, that's so clean. The verse is so clean. It's not necessarily the fastest thing in the world, but this flow is so clean and enunciated and just really good. Plus visually, it just looks amazing. But yeah, let's move on to something that's going to be a tie for 4th, because we have 2 songs and verses by Hongjoong that are the exact same syllables in 8 seconds. And the first one we're going to talk about is My Way. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier with Hongjoong. It's like he changes his voice. He goes from sing rapping to straight up sleigh rapping in My Way at about 29 seconds into the song, and that's about 54 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 6.75 syllables per second. However, this isn't the only song that he gets 54 syllables in 8 seconds with, so let's move on to the other song tied for number 4, which happens to be the first song off of their newer album, and it's the song called Promise at about 20 seconds into the song.
밤은 나가달리 어두워 지금 내가 지면 우린 더한 추위 겪어 하지만 다 알고 있었잖아 굳이 뭘 더 걱정하는 거야 우린 별이잖아서 밤은 나가달리 어두워 지금 내가 지면 우린 더한 추위 겪어 하지만 다 알고 있었잖아 굳이 뭘 더 걱정하는 거야 우린 별이잖아서.
So the second verse tied for number 4 by Hongjoong is again 54 syllables in 8 seconds, which is about 6.75 syllables per second, and funny enough, this is my favorite song off their newer album. I mean, Twilight's still my favorite song overall, but this is my favorite song off their newer album, but that's not even relevant. I'm just kind of showing off my favorite songs. But yes, this is the other song tied for number 4. Let's go back to Mingi though, as we get into the top 3. And we actually have a same song as we talked about before. My Way is back again with Mingi's verse at 1 minute and 45 seconds into the song.
내 곁에 지키던 기억들이 하나씩 무너져갈 때쯤에 주위를 둘러싼 모든 것들이 사라진다 생각했기 때문에 돌아보지 않아 인생은 끝이었음에 내 곁에 지키던 기억들이 하나씩 무너져갈 때쯤에 주위를 둘러싼 모든 것들이 사라진다 생각했기 때문에 돌아보지 않아 인생은 끝이었음에.
And kicking off this top 3, Mingi hits 55 syllables in 8 seconds, which is an average of 6.88 syllables per second. And if I remember correctly, this is a long ass verse by a rapper in an idol group because there's so many members. Like you need to spread out the lines, but Mingi has like a full 25 seconds of rapping here, and it was all pretty consistent too. It's like it was really hard to find like what sounded the fastest, which is how I kind of get started on figuring out the fastest lyrics, but it was all pretty consistent through the entire way, which is really impressive for a 25-second verse, being able to flow consistently, which is really good on him. Really impressive as a rapper, and probably another reason why he's my bias. But moving on, we are actually going to skip number 2. Because we have a tie for number 1, which is the first time that's ever happened on my series. And the first song we're going to talk about in this tie is Mingi's verse in Twilight.
올라와 파도 속에 올라타 시간이 가로막아도 멋지는 순간들 간지가 꺼니까 네 안개가 다가와 분위기가 물이 익어서 터질 듯한 느낌이야 올라와 파도 속에 올라타 시간이 가로막아도 멋지는 순간들 간지가 꺼니까 네 안개가 다가와 분위기가 물이 익어서 터질 듯한 느낌이야.
And here we go, seeing Mingi's verse in Twilight again. However, it's a completely separate verse, so I'm able to include Mingi twice in Twilight, my favorite song. It's about 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the song this time I got this Mingi verse, and he hits 56 syllables in 8 seconds, which plainly averages out to 7 syllables per second. And this is so cool because he's tied for first with Hongjoong, and it's so impressive that they can both get the fastest rap, and it's like completely even between them, but I'm gonna fanboy over that in a second when we get to Hongjoong's number 1 song, which, you know what, let's just get to it. And I'm sure a lot of you can figure it out from the pixelated image right here which song it is that's tied for first, but it's Hongjoong's verse in Say My Name.
부르고 불러줘 날 내 이름은 검색이 나와 그렇게 바라던 내 인택 따랐고 곁에가 네 친구들도 모아 우야 애워싸 두르고 지켜봐야 부르고 불러줘 날 내 이름은 검색이 나와 그렇게 바라던 내 인택 따랐고 곁에가 네 친구들도 모아 우야 애워싸 두르고 지켜봐야.
1 minute and 41 seconds into the song of Say My Name, Hongjoong hits 56 syllables in 8 seconds, which plainly averages out 7 syllables per second, just like Mingi's song before. And before I get into this overall picture I want to talk about, it's really cool that this verse is 56 syllables per second because he completely pulls back on the speed for the second half of this little clip I put in. And he still manages to get 56 syllables per second, which is crazy because he could have gotten so much more, but musically and flow-wise, it made so much sense to pull it back there, and I don't blame him for that. But as I mentioned before, you didn't see another jump after 8 to 7 because this is like the consistent speed of Ateez, and I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot more raps within this range of 6.5 to 7 syllables per second in their future songs, and it's really cool because that's a really fast speed to consistently be getting those raps. That's the same speed that BTS and Stray Kids averagely get their raps, which are some really mainstream and like amazing rap groups, and Ateez is going to be one of them too, and honestly is one of them too, and it's really impressive, and I can't wait to see where they can go from here with these raps. However, scrolling on the screen right now is every rapper I have ever looked at in my series with an 8-second constant, and they are ordered from 1 to 36 based on their fastest syllable per second count, and we can see where Mingi and Hongjoong actually rank, and they're at about number 30 on this list. And I need to stress this enough because I know a lot of people pointing this out, and I want to make this clear. I am not saying that number 1 is the best and number 36 is the worst. I am simply saying that number 1 is the fastest and the 36 that's the fastest song of flow that they have put out. Rap is so much more about speed. It has flow, your technicality, your alliteration, your lyricism. There's so much complexity to rap that you can add other than just speed. I'm just a sucker for fast flows. And number one doesn't even mean that it's my personal favorite. I'm just ranking them. I just need to make that clear because a lot of people have been complaining, like, just because he's fast doesn't mean he's the best, or just because he's slow doesn't mean he's the worst. I'm not saying anyone's the best or worst. I'm just ranking them based on their speed to show you the Korean rappers. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, show some love way down in the comments below. And as always, K-pop and chill, the safe way.
깨고 부딪혀야 해 우릴 볼 수 있도록 크게 소리쳐야 해 멀리 번져가도록